Alrighty, guys, I am here with, if I try to pronounce it correctly, Daniel Nesek, known as Badboy, and he is the inventor of Direct Game. Was voted two times best PUA in the world, and is from a country that doesn't exist anymore, if that's accurate, Yugoslavia. Is that right?
Yeah, it's fall apart. Croatia.
So these days, the part that he's from is Croatia, but yeah, that's a confusing one for the Americans that are watching because they're like, "Oh, never heard of Yugoslavia before." So there you go. More than 20 years in the game. Do you remember what year you started?
Oh yeah, I remember that very well. It was like I think 1998, like 2000s, early 2000s.
Already. And early 2000s is when the book, The Game was released. You were mentioned several times in the book, The Game by Neil Strauss. How did you connect with Neil Strauss all those years ago?
Yeah, I think the book came 2005 or 2006, and I was actually the I organized officially the first PUA meeting in the world, like, invited basically to Croatia, all those guys, like, kind of Mystery Style and everybody else, like, back in the days from the Mystery Lounge. That was the first occasional meeting when I met him, like, and then when he was touring around and learning from the best guys, he picked like the mentors for different stuff, for inner game, kind of like for everything else, like, and then basically when he was learning direct, he came to me. So because I was like, back in the days, like, the one who brought up the whole concept of direct game and everything. So yeah, we did some coaching and it was really fun.
Oh, nice. So I think the book came out in 2005. Do you remember what year you met Neil Strauss?
I think it was 2003. Like, I think it was like, yeah, it took him like 2 years to write down the book, like, a year and a half to like, it was like 2003, 2004, something like that.
Alrighty. There are many styles of game. Why do you think being direct is best?
I mean, like, first, you have to understand. I don't think it's the best. It's like the holy grail of it. It really comes down to personality. You know, I would say what you like when you're starting. I believe actually you should practice and you should learn indirect game because it's much harder. Because it's kind of really like it requires all your like conversational skills to be on a point, like and then I would say mid-level and like advanced guys should actually go to direct game. Why is better? I think it's more in touch with who you are as a man. Okay, because you speak your mind, you speak your emotions, you speak your genes. You come to a beautiful girl, say, what? I don't know why, but I really like you. What's the name? Or you are exactly my type of a girl, and I want to get to know you. What's the name? So because it's really like you're not playing against your emotions, you're not playing a game, you are being honest, you're being direct. That's why it feels natural. It feels like you go with the flow, like it feels good. Second thing why it's actually better than any other style that I played with and I tried lots of it starts with attraction, that boldness, that confidence, that you come there and basically you flip lots of things about you. She learns within 5 seconds, there is attraction. Within 5 seconds, this girl already knows something about you. That you're confident, you're dominant, you're sexual, you know what you want, you are above her, not below her. Yeah, please, can I meet you? You come there, I am choosing you. It sets the right frame. And this is the most important part, what I really like, because it sets the proper frame from the get-go. From the get-go, you are saying, I'm the man, you are the woman. I like you. I choose you to be my girl.
Nice. So it's like you're making the decision instead of being very wishy-washy.
Exactly. Instead of like, oh, please like me, oh, please like me, or, I'm doing running routines to create attraction, to be okay, can you please choose me? But here you're flipping the table. it feels the most congruent with the basically what frame of a man is, what being a man is.
Um, this was touched upon a little bit in the book, The Game. You had some kind of accident when you were younger. What exactly happened?
Oh yeah, like I would say actually that. Um, so basically, now you mentioned Yugoslavia. During the Yugoslavia falling apart, and it was like same thing what's happening now in Ukraine. Pretty much like everybody had its own fingers here, like whole world actually. And so Christmas night, 1994, I was basically on a terrace with my friend watching fireworks at midnight, like what we all did. But what happened, like, lots of people from basically, like, there was like, continuous war going on for 3 years. And then at Christmas, they said, okay, like, let's go home. Let's spend Christmas with our families. And Monday we come back to the fields and continue, like, the war. So they all basically pretty much all the soldiers, whoever was in the war, they gave them the guns to take them home just in a case. So what they did at basically at Christmas, they were kind of shooting in the air, and basically I was on a Christmas terrace, the bullet went up, basically they're shooting like, with, I don't know, Kalashnikovs with stuff, and it hit me, basically the bullet like full parabola shot in the head. I was in coma for like, 2 weeks, and basically starting my life from the beginning. Like, I lost the whole left side of my body, so I had to learn how to walk again, how to talk again, and how to basically function. So I came back to the school pretty much in a wheelchairs. All my friends already had girlfriends. They started kind of hooking around, having fun. I was the most unattractive guy in the school. And basically that's where I realized, fuck, I'm like, I had to do something with myself. Like, basically, okay, that's like, later on in years, basically my first club experience, I was walking, on a stick in a club and trying to kind of approach girls. And I was, I mean, that event changed my life big time. It was like the most important thing. And I would say it led to many discoveries, because from very early age, I realized, okay, I cannot compete with the guys on the looks and the body. I cannot sell the body and the looks to the girls. So I focused to everything else, to personality, to humor, to inner game, to character. Let's give them something else what other guys cannot. So from day one, I focused on not selling, money, look, status, but focus on the character, focus on personality, on identity, on basically being an amazing guy. Because I was you put 100 guys or 1,000 guys in front of a girl, and me there, I'll be the last one to pick. 3 years later, give me 3 minutes with that girl, I'll be the first guy to pick.
What a
And
turnaround! What a change!
yeah, and that's thanks to the game. So like, my full heart, I mean, like, the game and this community changed my life and it gave me so much, and that's why I'm still kind of giving back. Even after 20 years, I feel passion to coaching, because I know if I was able to succeed, I was able to go from a wheelchairs to being chosen as a number one, pickup artist on a planet Earth. Then, I mean, pretty much everybody can do it, because I didn't start from zero. I started from like a -50. I started from wheelchairs, not from a shy, insecure guy, from introvert. I started my journey from a wheelchairs. Mm-hmm. So if I was able to do it, any guy out there can do it.
Yeah, that's perfect, because there are a lot of guys who make excuses. They have fully functioning legs, they got fully functioning arms. There is really nothing wrong with these people apart from the fact that they're wasting their time on Reddit. Uh, but what can you say if you can be, because you have come from that position where you started, as you said, -50, if you could even be as brutally honest or try to humble the people who are making so many excuses for themselves, what would you say to those guys?
I mean, it's all in your head. There's no such thing as a reality. And it's really unbelievable. I mean, like, we have the smartest computer, the smartest AI attached to our bodies, like, and that, this computer can work against you or can work for you. I remember, like, I was like, I don't know how it happened, like, actually 2008, 2009, I had like a series of, like, really, like, I would go out and, get a girl, like, and I'm like, she was like, oh yeah, the moment I saw you, I like you, like, and this happened, like, it was just, the energy, like amazing energy. And I know, and the more I was getting laid, the more this energy accumulated. And at one point I felt every girl in a club likes me. I entered the state, I know that you want me. And you know what happened? Every girl wanted me. So it's really unbelievable, like, what brain can do. So basically, you thinking none of the girl likes you, it's completely true. If you convince yourself, you thinking that every girl out there is dreaming to be, it's like she wants you, it can be reality as well. It can be true and false, both of them are equally true and false. That every girl in the club likes you and wants to fuck you, and that none of them likes you. So it's really, it really comes down, it comes down to the inner game and comes down to the techniques, yes.
Yeah, the reality is in your own mind.
Exactly. You are creating the reality. You are shaping the reality. So that's why you have to be super careful what you think and how you process that information.
All right. By the way, your camera's going in and out of focus sometimes. I think it's focused on the microphone.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
I think it might be focusing on the microphone. I'm not so sure. But it's okay now.
Okay. That's good. Okay.
Alrighty. Yeah, so speaking of, I actually didn't know that you effectively sustained a head injury or some kind of brain injury. I'm not sure what it was exactly.
I had like 3 brain surgeries, like, because like the bullet was too deep inside the head. They couldn't take it out to just kind of patch it up. And like they put me in a coma, sleeping on the right side for 2 weeks. And then the bullet kind of swim in. They opened it, like, took it out here, and they're like, lots of damage. But yeah.
Yeah, my wife had brain surgery in December, and for about 48 hours she couldn't speak. She has brain cancer. So back in December she had a stroke, and then she was taken very quickly into brain surgery within 2 or 3 weeks. Um, I was working at the time when the stroke happened, so when I left to work early, as you must. I got to the hospital and we didn't know what the scans were like, but it was very scary for her because the she could see what the nurses uh, were doing with their face. They were so shocked by what the scans looked like, yet we never saw the scans until 2 weeks later, exactly 1 week before the brain surgery happened. And what happened was she had 6.5 by 5.5 roughly centimeter brain tumor, which they operated on that right after Christmas. And then when she came home in January, um, they ran the diagnosis and found that it was cancerous. So anyway, 2 days after the brain surgery, she was able to speak much better again. And the first things she said to me were completely different. It was like she was reborn. So I have kind of witnessed that for similar kind of thing for myself and my wife. And she has been a complete warrior about this. And that's why um, the I think the week she was having brain surgery, I was interviewing Raul Tomasi, and I started a new tradition of putting one of her shoes in the background. I don't know why, but it's a reminder of the fact that she can stand tall and get through anything. So a lot of courage and strength in that. And people watching who have not gone through something as scary as brain surgery, you really have no excuses. So I also want to point that out.
Yeah, yeah, true.
What were you like when you first started doing game? Or in fact, before we jump into that, how did you actually find out about game in the first place?
Oh, that was like, many, many years ago. Like first days of internet. I stumbled upon the old Usenet forums, news groups, Out Seduction Fest. Do you know how basically how community was actually created? Do you know the
Um,
true story?
Maybe not the true story, but the version that
Okay, which
I
version do you
have
know?
been told,
Okay, tell
at
me.
least. So the whole thing apparently is that Ross Jeffries is the godfather of the community, and somehow that's how the
But
community
why?
started.
But do you know the backstory?
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, so Ross Jeffries, yeah, he went after the Milton Erickson. Basically, he studied NLP, and he wanted, now to commercially use his new knowledge of NLP, somehow. So basically, he created speed seduction, like, patterns and things. Basically, basically it's NLP in a form of for old audio tapes and letters, how to talk with a girl. Can you imagine, you're on a roller coaster and you go up and you can't wait to go down. Kind of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he had a forum, okay, and he did lots of ads back in the days, newspaper ads, TV ads, and lots of people came to the forum, okay. But kind of people I would say preschool, old school PUAs, kind of from a street, because he was like, okay, this is how you seduce a woman. So people came there, but actually, because there are many ways, not just there are many ways how to seduce a woman. They just kind of read poems and poetry and run NLP patterns on them. And so, of course, lots of discussions open up, and it was killing his sales. Okay. So what he did was very smart move. He went to news groups and he created alt seduction fast. He said, everybody, okay, if you want to talk about how to seduce a woman in any different way, go to this forum. Leave us, here we're only going to talk about my way. So accidentally, by actually kicking out everybody who wanted to talk about how to get girls, he created the whole community. And basically everything was created there. Then I think 10 best of us isolate ourselves to mysteries, lounge or somewhere, then underscore, and then we started building things up. That's basically how the whole community was, the whole format was created. So I came when the Ross created this kind of alt seduction fast news forums, news groups. Maybe basically within the first year I was there, basically I was dating one girl, and I think back on the days on the Yahoo, I was like, how do you fix this girl? She had some crazy inner game problems that I was dating. She was on cocaine, and I had some stuff. So I tried to to get her and to help her and do something with her, and then accidentally found a forum. But I was like, oh fuck, you can get new girls. I'm trying to fix this one, fuck this, let me go there. So yeah, I start going out, posting, doing research. But I was basically, my really transformation was, I was crazy. I was crazy about, because there was only way. I knew I had to do something if I want girls. I was limping. I was disabled kid. I was like, okay, I need to, if I have to die, I was ready to die for this. I was, not for, I was there. I'll tell you how crazy I was. Okay, with my first money, I bought myself voice recorder for conferences. Okay, with an old microphone, kind of back in the days, a big, chunky ones. So I was doing, I think I was looking a 10, 15 approaches per day for 2 weeks. So I collected probably hundreds of conversations. After the 2 weeks, Friday night, I remember like yesterday. This is how crazy I was. I retyped all those conversations in a Word document, printed everything out on the floor of my living room, all of them. Like, and then I was like trying to find patterns. Here, I said this, then here I said this, then like on this paper is approach. I got a girl, I got a number, and this like, so I was trying, and this is what I was doing. Like, I was analyzing every sentence, every word, every like interaction, like to the smallest detail. I was fine-tuning openers, how much energy can I get from the opener, from the conversation, like why it worked, why didn't it work here. But I went crazy. I was like, it took like a 2-3 years. I was Einstein level. I was crazy. I was like like beyond crazy.
You were effectively a social scientist at your own social
Yeah,
process.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was like really like I was like decoding the smallest thing, like like fixing. I would just go. I would just work on the opener for like a 2-3 weeks. Then I would move on to next segment. Then next, then like kiss close. I was just fixing and finding how can I kiss the girl for like 2-3 weeks or a month. And of
Was
course, when
that
you
a
focus,
was that a combination of obsession and passion? As in, you're very excited to find what the answer is.
yeah, yeah, I was, and that was like before any like wingmans. I was alone. I was like going out alone. I mean, people heard about me because I started doing some crazy stuff. Like nobody like was like able to approach girls and take them home, and so of course like people start calling me and stuff. But like, yeah, I was like, leave me alone. This is my project. I know I'm on something. I will succeed. And really like that level of dedication and craziness, it led to many discoveries. Of course, like
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's fascinating. Some people label you as a pickup artist. Are you a pickup artist? Would you say you are a pickup artist?
I mean, I come from that background, like but I love women way too much to be a pickup artist. Kind of like I like being in relationships. I like I like. I mean, I don't abuse my knowledge. I use. It's like you learn how to drive the car. Then what? Like you become kind of. I don't need to become Formula One driver. I became one because I was like dedicated and I had a problem that I need to fix. And I knew like I knew I had to go way above, beyond and above what average guy needs to do to get laid. To basically compromise everything what like all the problems I had and insecurities and everything else. So, but I don't know. I don't label myself. I don't see myself as a pickup artist. I love women. I love being with them. I love spending time with them. I love spending with my girl. With my girls. Like I love to. I love being with them. I don't need to change them once a week or once. When you find a girl that you like. That's what's most important. Like what it is.
So perhaps maybe a problem with the POA community could be that it's too focused on getting and not focused on actually keeping.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I love being single. I love being in a relationship. I think like both sides discover like something and makes you happy. Like you probably know everybody's aware of that. Like but yes, I believe you're gonna be much more stable in life when you have like a wife, when you have like a serious girlfriend, girl who supports you, who is there with you, who gives you everything what you dream about, what you need, and you will have way more energy and focus to invest into the business or some other areas of the life than you're just kind of constantly chasing goals, which is amazing as well. But it really is. It takes lots of energy.
You know what? You're right. Brandon Carter said himself that when he has one woman, he makes more money in his business. When
Yeah.
it's not that way, he's losing out on that money.
No, it is. It's the energy. It really is the energy and the focus. Like I mean, how much of just of texting, how much how much of texting, to get a date requires. You spend like 1-2 hours per day, like a multiple goals, you're rotating, dating, that takes lots of energy, yes. Especially if you want to be creative. Okay, if you just go to the office and do some work without the brain, if you just kind of work behind the counter somewhere, like, maybe not that much, but, if you're doing what we are doing, where you need to be creative, where I'm constantly thinking outside of the box, constantly, like, discovering, new ways for new generations, how to fix problems on dating. And I'm constantly, so I need my brain, I need my energy to be focused. Yeah. I love girls. Yes. I still have adventures and stuff, like, but, I believe, like, finding some good balance is really important.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember a few years ago, I was working and studying at the same time at university. So I was already quite occupied. But I had, I think, almost a solid 3 weeks of dates every single day. And although that sounds like that's a very nice thing for you to be able to say, um, it's not really sustainable, especially if you want to work on your own business.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be draining on a lot of people anyway. So that's also my experience. But I did actually want to jump into relationships because it's not talked about as much as it should in pretty much any industry, I guess. So you talked about communication and relationships on a podcast I recently watched. What's better than asking your partner something like, "How was your day?"
Yeah. Like, speaking of relationships, okay, like, okay, one thing, like, I really, like, develop crazy way of thinking, like scientific way of thinking about everything when I was decoding the whole pickup and the girls. Obviously, I still kind of using that brain, to play with the relationships, or give me any topic, like, I'll be able to, pull up some crazy stuff. So I did really basically found amazing ways for how to make relationships better. Okay. And I would say I'm going to give you two really interesting stuff. Basically, what I practice, I won't say every day, but, like, I live this. Okay. Like, and basically relationship is based on happiness. Relationship is based on fulfilling other person's needs. Okay. And that's something that basically in a pickup, when you're getting a girl, when you're seducing a girl, it needs to be communicated as well. That's how you get attraction, very early in the relationship, I would say, like, maybe, like, very first month, I'm going to actually ask a girl or tell her, okay, listen, I've been with girls. I know what I need to do to make you happy. But let's play I'm dumb. Let's play I'm stupid. And let's say I don't know anything. So let's not play like in hide and seek. I have a homework for you to do, okay? I want you to sit down and think. And write me everything what makes you happy. Okay? I want you to write me everything that other guys have done or haven't done. What other guys should have done to make you happy or maybe didn't do. But everything that I can do as a man to make you happy on daily basis, I want to know that. And in return, I'm going to give you my list. What you as a woman, what you can do to make me happy. And basically, this is from very start, this enters the core of relationship. Because most people, they are dating for months, you're trying, well, she likes when I kiss her feet. Oh, she likes this. Then you discover 6 months later or 1 year later that she likes some. Fuck that. Tell me up front. Tell me up front so I know when you come home tired from your work, what I can do to fill your cup.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I mean,
that's huge.
They say communication is important. I mean, like, this kind of communication is important. This kind of information is important for communication. This is important. Quality information.
That is
so because I
very
mean,
unique.
like, yeah, because I mean, the essence of relationship is I'm here to make you happy, and you are here to make me happy. As long as we are doing this, fulfilling this contract, very basic contract, I'm going to use my resources, everything what I have, to make you happy, and you're going to use all your resources, or as much as you want, to make me happy, to fulfill my needs. Because every girl has a different image of her mind, different relationship in her mind, what she wants from a man. And most guys, they're usually guessing. Okay, maybe she wants this, so let me try this. Fuck guessing. Ask her. Tell me everything what I can do or what I should do as a man to make you happy. I want to know that.
So what do you do with that information? So to be very practical, you get a list, she gets a list. What if there are two things that you can't do or two things you don't want to do? How does it work exactly?
But I mean, usually they're like, okay, unless the girl has like, okay, like send me, I want to fly private jet, unless it's something really ridiculous, then like, you cross it off the list. But I would say if you are doing like, 60-70% of that list, she's gonna be happy.
And
It really comes down to, how far that you want to do. And of course, you don't want to over deliver, but you want to kind of keep her glass full so she's not searching for the other man, not even thinking about it.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So I'm imagining right now, so everyone effectively has a list already which isn't written down. And a lot of people, there are millions of people in relationships right now, and they don't necessarily know, the vast majority of these people don't necessarily know what the list is of the other person. So by you doing this kind of thing in your own relationship, it really puts you way ahead of everyone else. Even if someone has been together with another person for an entire decade, that information coming in just a few weeks, that's crazy.
Yeah. And that's, really like, so that's why I'm telling, like, that's what I'm teaching. Like, the game is played here. This is, game is IT, information technology. Game is basically what we live today. It's internet. It's here. It's intelligence. It's nothing else. Forget the body, forget the looks, forget the money. It's this. It's the brain. From the opener till the marriage relation, kids, everything else. It's all here.
You said that you have some kind of monthly review in your relationships. Is that similar to this or the same thing? How does it work? And how can other people use this and benefit from it?
Yeah, like I check. I basically what I do is like, let's say, rituals together that makes us happy. Okay, like like coffee in the morning, like I know, tea, food, bed, like really, like let's say, like stuff you do together, like quality of relationship. What is based on sex, food, I don't know, maybe like social life as a couple, correct? Then what else? I don't know, like we have coffee, like I put like on the list, like okay, now sleeping habits, travel, kind of basically everything what is making us happy. And then I'm reviewing basically each month or every week, or let's say like once a month. Okay, like how is our sex? How is our bed? What can sleeping? How is our social life? Okay, we should hang out more with people, not just gonna most of us together. Like how is our dating? We should go often on a date. So like by doing reality checks, I'm always aware where are we in the relationship, and basically what is missing and what are we working on for the next thing to get more sweet. Like let's say maybe like, oh, like sex is 8 of 10. Okay, how can we make 10 of 10? See, but this comes from being an architect. And this is very important mindset. Most people, they're like, oh, we are just dating, we are equal. No, you're not. One of you needs to be if you want this level of relationship, you want this level of the game, one of you needs to step up and become an architect of relationship. It's like running your company. Someone needs to be there, big brain, and thinking, okay, like, how are we performing? How is the sales performing? How is the marketing? How is this going? Where are we losing money? What is everybody happy on the board? Or how can we increase happiness? How can we make more money next month? Someone needs to be an architect.
Yeah, so it's a bit like alignment. So just making sure that it doesn't go off track, off target,
Yes.
basically.
Yes. Yes, very important. That's what happens with lots of guys. Oh, they forget, they get a little bit depressed. Couple of months later, she's packing her stuff and leaving. Amazing girl. Oh, can you please help me to, get her back? Like, I was like, bro, what have you been doing? Like, you've been sleeping for 8 months, doing nothing.
That's damn right. So maybe I do some kind of version of this already. So perhaps a few months before my wife's stroke and brain surgery, I picked up on the symptoms. We had an appointment which was through the phone. England is stupid in terms of the how the doctor stuff works, but um, I pretty much decided that we should make a document um, to kind of make sure we're on track with lifestyle, basically.
Yeah.
So since the cancer thing came into play, it became a matter of compiling book recommendations that people were giving us because she does the keto diet, for example. People have come to me with very, very nice messages saying, has she tried the raw diet, for example? Has she read this book? Check out these videos and this ebook for this podcast, maybe stuff like that. But it also, we have also been tracking things like weight because, of course, when you have something like cancer,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
losing weight. So that's also quite important.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
those are a few things there. But
Yeah. But
whenever,
you can extend this to any other area as well.
mm,
Correct? Like, if you really put like, segments like what is important, what really makes you happy as a couple. Food, for example, you guys cooking at home, or you probably since the cancer, you're cooking, you're not eating at restaurants that much, like, so, audience level, 1 to 10, how you happy like with the food, how you happy like, with, your love life, emotions, social life, family, do you visit your family often, like, everything really, like, you put down, it's a little bit of thinking, you put down on a paper everything, what is, it's kind of together happiness list, couples life in all areas, and and then you're working on that. Okay, like, let's increase this level, let's next month, like, spend more money, research, whatever on this, or whatever it is.
yeah, so
So,
for us, we got this kind of thing. She does another reason for having this in the background. She does this thing on Instagram, which we call Hills Her Size. So she wears 8-inch platform heels and does like squats on an Instagram reel and does it on TikTok too. Various other exercises. And some of them are like, God, I didn't even know this was physically possible. How is she holding herself up? Like, not because she has cancer, because I don't think any human of any kind of strength can do that. But it's something so fascinating, so unique. So it's just a little bit of fun, but it's used for, I guess one of the reasons she does it is for inspiring others, but also keeping herself a bit occupied too. So
yeah, yeah,
we do this kind of thing. Well, we have a document and we or supposed to look at this document every 2 weeks?
Yeah. I would say the third thing what I usually do in a relationship is the ideal day list. Okay, like if you would, and that's kind of what I usually do. Like let's say maybe very early on as well. Like maybe month, like like asking a girl like we are falling asleep. Okay, like can you or like can you tell me how does your ideal day looks like? Like money is not the issue. Like what's your what are you doing? Where are you? When do you wake up? How does you know and I'll tell you for my example, when I met my girl, the current one, like 5-6 years ago, like she used to work like in IT firm as a, like office manager. Like she was waking up like very early 7 a.m. She's not morning person, and then like, coming home like 6, tired and kind of without energy. So she was like, oh, like I wish I can wake up anytime. Like let's say I wake up at 9, I don't need to go to the job. I wake up, make a breakfast for us, maybe go to like a kind of like supermarket, or like or buy some ingredients, lunch for us, work a couple of hours, like I don't know, work out in the evening, go to like maybe like some like nice dinner, evening, like watch a movie, fall asleep, sex, that was her ideal day. That same girl lives that day now every day in a year. Okay, so that's like what, like 4 years later. I found a way how to. That's why I'm telling being an architect for that for her, this was it was like fantasy to wake up at 9 and not work maybe like 2 hours a day, and go for a coffee with friends, hang out, cook lunch, kind of.
How long have you been together now?
6 years.
Nice.
So yeah, like I had my list as well, like but we combined our both my ideal, we combined her ideal and my ideal, and today we are living our ideal days from like what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I was
Okay,
dating.
so maybe could we use yours as like an example? What are some things on your list that might be on someone else's list too?
Mm, what was my list? Let me remember. Like okay, like let's say like wake up 8, 9, smoothie, walk around a little bit, like we live in a big park, walk around, a little bit brainstorming, come back home, cold shower, work for like a 2-3 hours. My most productive basically is like mornings, like 10 till 1. Then like lunch, I don't know, like, maybe read a book, afternoon a little bit, couple of hours meditation, gym, and then go out on a date maybe with one more girl, because I like to be social. And I was like, listen, like okay, like I would like for us to have fun with other girls, and maybe date, maybe whatever, like some adventures. So, and then like and basically like I turn her into my wingman, and together we're having amazing lifestyle. Really, like I create the most amazing relationship the one can have. Amazing girl, and basically she teach her the game, and we are traveling the world, having fun, and it really is the ultimate relationship the one can have. So I didn't lost anything from my PUA player days, but still, but you brought that and basically bring it, took all those components and created like the most amazing life the one can live.
Hmm, very interesting. Whereas others are like, I have to come out of this now and go into this, like
Yes,
complete transition, no in between. People
correct.
don't really consider that.
The beauty of today is that you can create anything. any kind of relationship. I mean, like, if people can identify as a cat or as a dog, really, like, you can, if you use your intelligence, that's what I'm telling, it's all here. Everything is possible.
Let's go a bit into your coaching aspect. So, how can guys become confident in dating?
In dating, okay, this question I was thinking a lot. Okay, actually, what is confidence? Do you actually, if you ask yourself, actually, let me ask you, what is confidence? What is the definition of confidence? How would you define confidence?
Um, there's confidence, and then there's I'll tell you the opposite. So the opposite of confidence is uncertainty, not not feeling like you can conduct yourself in certain ways, for example. And then the confidence is just the fact that that's not happening. You're okay.
Okay. I would say but I did. This took me lots of time or lots of thinking. Confidence is a feeling that you have in your body when you can predict results of your actions.
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, when you can, driving a car, for example, or pickup, or whatever. Like, I know I can go out on a street right now and stop any girl and get her number. Why? Because I have done it like 100 million times, and I know everything what can happen. There is nothing new that can happen that didn't happen already, and I didn't have a solution. Didn't create a solution for it. There is no unknowns. Everything what can happen already happened, and I have a solution for it. So basically, I can predict everything what's going to happen. There is nothing new she can say.
Even if there was something new, you have lots of references, so you at least have an
Exactly.
idea of what the
Exactly.
solution
Exactly.
would
And
be.
that's so basically confidence. Yeah, confidence is basically, it comes with lots of positive, with you doing stuff, of course, like, you're failing and learning. And then basically it comes together basically where you understand the system, like driving a car, being on a road. With enough mileage, kilometers on a road, you pretty much understand the system and what's going to happen, and you can predict things ahead, like 2 steps ahead. But I would say confidence in dating, you will feel confident. Okay, let's go like this, okay? So what happened to me, like back in the days, now I remember, like, I walk with a limp still, because, like, basically when I grew up, because I was 13 years old, I grew up in a hospital 10 centimeters. So basically my left leg is shorter, so I still, walk with a limp, and because, like, okay, I can hide it, but sometimes I forget, okay? So me walking towards the girl, when she sees it, she'll feel this, she'll be like, I don't like this guy, okay? So image is already being created there. She doesn't like me. But what I learned is that I can go there and change what she thinks about me and create attraction. So confidence in dating is ability where you can control, does someone like you or not, what he thinks about you. And that's what ultimate game is, what game is all about, that you controlling the image what other people think about you, and will that image create as attraction or no attraction.
In
Now after
your
20 years I can approach any girl there and make her like me with things, skills, and that gives me confidence. That gives me, like, fuck, I can, I'm controlling this system. I'm controlling this game. I'm controlling, like, what's going to happen. Attraction is a choice, mine. I can choose, will that person like me or not like me? Make sense?
Yeah. In your perspective, what is game?
But I would say actually, like, when you it really comes to I think it's an upgrade of what I just said. Like, it's if you look at the girls, why they are good at the game, because they are controlling men's attraction. They can control, will she turn you on sexually or not? Will you think about her sexually? Will you think about her as a cute girl, as a slutty girl? They are controlling perception of how they want to be perceived. As a slut, as a one-night stand, as a girlfriend material, as a, however she wants to be perceived. She can dress like that, make up like that, talk like that, and behave like that. She can jump in that role and sell you that. So if women can do it, and it's not easy, men can learn a lot from them, because it's exactly on the other side. It is exactly the same on the other side as being a man. So what game is, it's ultimate control is a wrong word. It's basically you are, but I'm going to use it anyway, because I cannot find better word to replace it. And feminists, they hate it. But,
Direction, maybe?
yeah, okay, like, you can, like, let's say you do 10 approaches, okay? And what's average guys within these 10 approaches and 10 conversations, every girl will think different about him. One girl will think he's cute, other girl think he's an idiot, third girl is gonna think he's an asshole, fourth girl is gonna think he was bragging or creepy or something like. So 10 girls, 10 approaches, all 10 think something else. That's bad game. We don't talk about the results. This is a bad game, because you are not controlling, directing what they're thinking about you. If you can approach, and every girl in all 10 conversations, they think you are interesting, confident, dominant, successful, funny, sexual. Basically, you flip. Basically, you are controlling. Basically, you are because what is game. Okay, imagine this. I think this is the best way what I came up with. Like, when you approach a girl, there are two empty sheets of paper, hers and yours. Okay, your job within that approach is to fill in her sheet of paper, get her, open her up to talk about herself. So you are filling in her sheet of paper, and as well you are filling in your sheet of paper with the stuff you talk about yourself. On the end of conversation, after 5, 10, 15 minutes, she needs to know about you, and you need to know things about her. You can't only talk about yourself. Okay? And actually, there is one more paper, third one, which with the future plans as well. What you guys should be doing in the future together, commonalities. But okay, like let's focus on the two. It's kind of basic version. So if you are, as you said, directing, if you are, again, he disappeared. Bro, don't run away. This is getting interesting.
I was messing with the camera. There we go.
Yeah. So it's basically, the beauty of it is like, okay, let me ask something. What is attraction? How is your definition for attraction?
What draws something or someone to something or someone?
Okay, let me go deeper on this, okay? So attraction is an emotion, correct? That is triggered when your internal wish list, matches or is represented in the world. Your ideal car, it's here. And you see it on a street, attraction will be triggered. Okay? When your internal wish list matches external world, is represented in the external world. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So every girl in her head has an idea of what kind of man she wants. The closer you are to that image of what she wants, what she needs, the easier for you it's going to be in dating. Okay? Because I mean, like, you are selling the sandwich that, you know, she wants to eat, to buy. It's like 101 of sales, you know, selling the product that's not needed on the market. And that's basically the beauty of today's world. I remember when I started, like, you know, 20 years ago, you approach, like, you know, 10 girls, they all dreamed about 10 different guys. And you couldn't be like all of that. What happened in last 5 years, 4 years, thanks to Instagram, thanks to Hollywood, it created a standard of attractive men. So now there's only one guy that you need to be, or the closest to that guy. So basically, pretty much, you know, there's a standard of attractiveness. But I don't like to play that game. I don't like to play, like, you know, now that we are talking about, we're going really deep, like static versus dynamic attraction. And now that's kind of very advanced. And so let's say, you know, kind of, if you only approach and you're only selling, basically you're only talking about yourself. Let me something with my focus, okay? So if you approach a girl and you're always like, oh, I'm this, you're always like, you know, you always come the same thing from the list. It's static. You're basically, your sales, your marketing is static. It's hit and miss. Some girls will like you, some girls won't like you. Okay, you're only selling one guy, you know. Versus dynamic sales. You screen her needs. You are selling her the guy that she wants. Some girl, it can be you. Some girls, they want more kind of badass guys. Some girls more cuddly, more like, you know, emotional types, more romantic. This, so it all can be you. Just like what girl can be like, you know, more sexual with one guy. Same girl can be like, you know, completely girlfriend type. With another guy, it's going to be completely like, you know, more, you know, sexual monster, you know, crazy type of a girl, you know. So it's the same girl. So you can be as well a little bit more going on a nice range or more on a badass, more like, you know, adventurous type. It all can be you. And that's the beauty of it. You just need to learn how to, you know, portray it and show that and be that in a relationship. Some girl will ask for more stronger type of a guy to get more kind of feel secure. Some girl more kind of emotional type or more kind of relationship type, supportive. It can all be you. It's just the role that you play. Just like when you're going to the office, can you play that role? It's just the role that you play in a relationship or on a dating that she needs.
Flexibility.
Okay. So can you go with, I completely forgot what the question was like and where are we? So please lead us somewhere.
Let's keep moving forward. What are some common misconceptions people have about game that you encounter?
Misconceptions. So I would say like that. I mean, like, you know, lots of guys, now we're gonna go into that. Lots of guys, they think like, you know, the money, basically, like, you know, they focus mostly on money, looks and status. They think that's the game, you know. While actually, if you are smart enough, if you use the brain, you don't need those things, you know. Really, like, you know, if you don't want to work, if you don't want to use your brain, you're going to use these three things to get girls. So I would say that's kind of number one thing about the game, what is kind of what is wrong, where guys are failing. You don't need, I mean, you need some level of looks, some level of money. The more you have, the better. Yes, but you don't need that to have a girlfriend, to have girls, to, to be happy in your life.
Yeah, in the last few years, maybe like the last 3 years, especially, there has been this surge of, I would say, trolls online who are just like, man, if you don't look good, it's over, forget about it, you're doomed. And I think that's completely horseshit, personally.
Yeah.
But you came from effectively being disabled, being in a wheelchair, having brain surgery, for example, and lifting yourself up. Meanwhile, there are these other guys fucking crying over nothing because their nose is the same size as mine.
Yeah. I would say, okay, like, I'm seeing it's propaganda, okay? Like, and I'm seeing, it's complete control, like, and I'm seeing what they are doing around the world now, especially with whole LGTB. And, there's a different messages coming from the metrics, like being installed. I'm seeing as well one more, like, kind of from lots of coaches now, like stop chasing girls, or kind of stop chasing girls, chase business, chase money, something like that. Okay, like, and I'm seeing this message coming, from nowhere, from like a 5 different coaches from 5, different areas of the world, like, like tomorrow, next morning, like, it's like, that's weird. And so someone is inserting this kind of stuff with some purpose. And yeah, ultimate, basically. And I'll tell you about this one, basically, like, kind of stop. I would say, like chasing girls made me a better man, made the man who I am. Because, like, when you chase girls, when you focus on the girls, dating is the ultimate self-development for men. Everything what's wrong about you, they're going to point out, and you will need to work on it. Girls are ultimate feedback. They're going to give you the best, the most brutal, the most honest feedback ever. And I'm so grateful for that. For every rejection that, I encountered. So many times I came home crying and I wanted to kill myself. And I'm grateful today for all those moments, because those moments made me stronger, made me who I am today. So, and I have seen this. I have seen guys falling for, actually, like some of my clients, they stopped chasing girls in their like 20s and 30s. They didn't work on themselves, on personality. They started working, chasing money, businesses. And now they're in like a mid 40s with money, but they still are insecure. They don't know how to date. They don't know how to, they have no game. Like, they don't know how to deal with the girls. So now they end up buying girls, and, kind of, that's the problem. That's the problem, like, with the whole money thing. Money will get you girls, but will get you wrong kind of girls. Money
Exactly. Yeah,
attracts
for sure.
money attracts the worst, like, and especially if the money is stronger than your personality, it's going, basically, it's going to attract. If the money is your marketing, it's going to fuck you up.
Oh, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
so you definitely, that's why kind of I'm like, chase girls. Yeah, they're going to make you a better man. Do it. Work on yourself. Like, kind of, you're going to learn so much about life, about everything, like, from, just kind of going out there, approaching girls, just being a good man, not just kind of being, go like, go and, get one more girl, kind of. I know so many girls, I made them, I made them better. With that, with, doesn't matter. She was like, in a couple of hours in my life. That girl left my life as a better woman, happier, better, smarter, whatever. So it's it really is. So like going back to the Chad theory, and then yes, this message that you need kind of six pack, and you don't. You don't need that, and you can So okay. This is my last one of bro. My brain is non-stop working and thinking about the new theories and new concepts, and I'm gonna give you. Actually, you have whiteboard in the background, correct? Can you draw a pyramid?
Pyramid. Okay, let me find my pen.
Yeah, above your shoes, not yours, the red.
Okay, just gonna move this here. Right. Maybe I could do it in black. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Yeah. Big one. Okay. Now, that's good. That's good. The top. Okay. Let's talk on the top. Put looks, money, and status.
It's like top
Yeah.
half or
There's gonna be 5 layers. There's gonna be 5 layers.
5 layers.
Put 5 layers. Okay. 5 lines. Draw 5 lines.
LMS.
Okay.
LMS.
Good.
There we go.
Okay. So the second layer, this is going to be the pyramid of attraction. Let's put everything how you can attract women in this day. Okay. So second layer, the most mainstream one is going to be it's going to be validation.
Validation.
Yes, I'll explain it. Then we're going to put PUA techniques. Push, pull, and everything else. Okay, PUAs. And then we're going to put energy. Next layer. And the last one, identity or personality. Let me take a photo of this.
Just gonna adjust the over camera and get a very good shot.
No problem. Take your time.
Okay.
Okay.
What's money status, validation, PUA techniques, energy, identity slash personality.
Okay. I think pretty much that's everything what you can do today. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think so. If I do, please let me know, because this is still like, in the progress. So sit down. Okay, let's talk about this. So society tells you how to get girls is, money, looks, six-pack, and status, followers on Instagram. Correct? That's the mainstream number one thing, okay? Second technique, what mainstream media tells you, and Hollywood and women, is validation or compliments to the women. This is Don Juan DeMarco, kind of, you're so beautiful, kind of, baby, you're so sexy, you look so amazing. Make her feel special, okay? And this creates attraction. Yes, it does. But she's not attracted to you. She's attracted to the feeling that she is desired by a man. She feels sexy. This is ultimate emotional manipulation, approved by society. She doesn't like you. She likes what you create in her. She feels adorable. She feels sexy. She feels she feels validated. She feels, she's like, on a high heels, your baby. I mean, partially direct game falls into that a little bit. Okay. but just partially. Then what you have is PUA techniques, push, pull, nags, like, cold reads, like, challenges, teasing, humor, everything what PUA community developed, RSD, mystery method, what I developed, like, everything falls there. This is how you can create attraction, correct? It works. You approach a girl in a bar, club, street, and you do it like, she will like you. But the problem with this is she doesn't know why she likes you. That's why it results with LMR, last minute resistance. She likes you, but she doesn't know why. You're just feeling like, there is attraction, but like, how this guy created, like, she doesn't know who is the guy. And girls, they need that. And then you have the guys, that's kind of what actually lots of guys, every so and then I come across the energy guys, kind of, I feel good and I get laid. It works when I feel good. Those guys, like, kind of, they do like, kind of, they really need the energy for something to work. They get laid on the energy. Or they drink alcohol, they feel good, and then somehow, it works. And, yes, good energy creates attraction because, of course, like, everybody is depressed. You see this guy who is like, pumping and, feeling good. Of course, you want to be with him. And then basically the last layer is, I would say, the only way how to create attraction in a proper way. And this is what I stand for. And the whole point of pyramid is this, is the bottom. When a girl likes you because of who you are, your personality.
Yeah, for sure. Because like if it's based on one particular thing, like what you look like, you're gonna get old. So that has an expiration date, but your personality goes
And
on
that's
forever.
that's the problem with the top of the pyramid with looks, money. It's like you are creating, basically you are putting all your eggs into the most unstable elements. Looks, money. You know how it is. Like today you have it, tomorrow you don't. Like, you have six pack, don't go to a gym, you break a leg, don't go to a gym for like 2 weeks, it's game over.
And when
Same
you
thing with
run out
money,
of
like,
money, yeah, when you run out of money, she's gonna
yeah,
leave you with that because you
exactly.
used
So
that in
like,
the first place.
so this is, that's why it's the stupidest and the most stupid form to basically rely on basically, getting women from this kind of society level stuff. The whole chat here, it's stupid. It's retarded. You are, really, like, you are putting your success with women on the most unstable assets that you have. So the whole concept of direct game, of basically what I'm teaching nowadays, is attraction based on personality.
So perhaps I could throw this in because this was a very similar question. There are lots of videos pushing the idea that you need to be a Chad. You have already addressed part of this. You have to be 6'4" with a six pack. You've talked about that already. Have a really large penis and all these other crazy things all these crazy requirements that these random black pill men or whatever are saying. And these videos are all over YouTube, lots of content, lots of forums about this stuff. And so many guys are buying into this and thinking that they have to be like this non existent person, Chad, a non existent person. What would you say to guys who watch these videos and believe
Okay.
these things?
Okay. Very simple. Go out there, do 10 approaches. In every approach, after 3 minutes, ask a girl, tell me your ideal man who you're searching for. Give me the qualities of the man that you want to meet, your ideal man.
How would you know that you're getting a genuine answer? Because what someone says,
Numbers
it,
game. Do numbers game. I have done this for like I think a year. Every approach in a year. And then I started, what happened? I start collecting, this girl, she wants this. That girl, she wants that. This, because I already, kind of, you start seeing patterns. You pretty much know what they want. And that's basically how, because I know nowadays, after like a year, I have done some crazy experiments. You guys cannot fucking imagine, like the stuff that I was doing. Like, so I would say one of my best, I'm going to give you, I think we wrote this for later for the topic, but I'm going to give it now because it's good. Like, one thing that completely changed my game was after every girl I slept, basically I did like a whole game. I took her home. Next morning, amazing breakfast, like there's no more ego. I'm like, okay, feedback time. Tell me, at which point, what did I said or do you start thinking about sex with me? What was the breaking point when you said, I'm going to have sex with him tonight? What did I said? What did I do? Exactly moment. And she's like, when you told me this. Then next girl, when you told me this. Next girl, when you told me this. You know how my game looked like 6 months later? Only those things that got me
you're
late.
you're conducting
I removed
surveys.
all the bullshit, all the fluff out from my game. It was
Hmm.
only these things that got me late before.
You're asking the right questions. You're asking very specific questions. What exactly did I say? What
Yeah.
was the moment? Can you
What
pinpoint
was
this
the
moment?
moment
Precision.
exactly when you said in your head, I'm going to sleep with him? And trust me, they know it. And that information is like $1 million information.
So are the answers like kind of different, or are there like a lot of similarities?
It's like very different, very different. Like, when you whisper something sexy to my ear, when you, I know, like, lots of things, like, lots of things. But I would say, but I manage actually, I have Excel files somewhere on my computer, like, I manage to kind of categorize them. So I pretty much know. But basically, what I notice, it's for every person. I cannot give you mine because it's not going to work. It's I'm doing this for the last 5-10 years with all my students and with lots of them. And what I notice for each is different based on personality, like, the way he touched her, like something. So I would say you need to create your thing, your file, and then stick on it, then be aware of it. That's why, again, I'm gonna say, like, this game is won here. And one thing I noticed, well, and this is gonna shock you, is introverts are way better in this game than extroverts. And I can prove that.
How?
For this level of the game, you need fucking sharp thinking. You need to kind of process. I'm introvert. I'm trained extrovert. I'm introvert. I was like completely introverted, like, kind of, especially the whole childhood and thing. I was inside my head a lot, like, so my whole, even today, like, when I need to relax, kind of basically, like, it's how you get energy. How basically extrovert people, they get energy from people. Introverts from being alone, staring at the wall. I'm the person who stares at the wall when after this podcast, after this interview, I'm gonna, kind of stare at the wall for 10 minutes and get my energy back and go to sleep. So I realize now, coaching guys around the world, that when you teach trained introvert will kill any extrovert in this game. because extroverts, they talk too much and they say too much. They don't control information that comes out. Introverts, they control every word what comes out because they're not used to sharing information. When you teach them how to share information, they know, they are super sharp about what are they saying. And this is, if you want really good game, this is what you need.
So what I'm imagining in my mind is like from an introvert's perspective, it's like there's a map of how things can be said, and it starts from here, and you figure that out. Whereas an extrovert probably they already have this part that has been learned throughout their life, but they don't go back to where it starts. They just start from where it has always been.
Yeah, and the problem with them is like, they don't analyze what they're doing. They're just talking and talking and vibing, and they don't have this kind of internal layer of basically internal. There are a couple of layers what's happening basically, and what introverts do, they develop this kind of internal voice and layer, self-critique. Is this good what I'm doing? What should I be doing? What, kind of this is super powerful when you know how to use it in the game. Most guys, they use this critical thing to turn into approach anxiety, and they're like, I think about approach anxiety instead of be thinking about really processing the right information. So basically, I found an amazing game. I developed amazing game for the introverts, for the IT guys who are really kind of high level of intelligence, really good IQ, and I can teach them game. I can and I'm telling you, it's amazing. If somebody told me that basically that I'll come to the point where I can say that introverts are better than, because it used to be an extroverted game in the whole pickup and everything, like it is in a way, but introverts are better, just like with the cooking, kind of the best chefs are the male, not females, so even like, kind of women are more often seen in a kitchen, in our household. So same thing here. I would say like, the guys, when you teach the proper game and you teach them how to think, introverts can be really, really good at the game.
So, kind of a similar one. Does a man's age matter in terms of when it comes to game?
Okay, it depends. I don't. If you really take care of yourself, you're in a shape. Kind of you work out. You're smart what you eat, and you take care of your appearance. It doesn't matter. But what I'm gonna tell you is that probably you notice that every 5 years you need to reinvent your game because your personality changed, and basically you enter kind of new bracket of the life, and you need to redo your game every 5 years.
So for
So
you, there
yes,
maybe being four or five different maybe versions or stages.
I would, I mean, it's different. Look, like, when you let's say you are 30, okay? Like, and now you are 30 and you are getting girls like at 25, 30. Of course, your game is going to be different. Then you are 40, your girls who are getting is different. They're more mature. So, of course, your game, the way you talk, what you communicate, and how you create attraction for these women and what these women are being attracted to is going to be different. When you are 45, 50, and you want girls who are 20, it's possible, yes. But of course, your game is going to be different. The small segment of the girls who are into older guys, into sugar dating, yes, there are. And basically, what you provide to these girls is going to be different than you provide to girls like a 35, 35 for 40. They're searching for different experiences. So of course your sales will be different. So is the game same? No, it's not the same. It changes as you grew older, but it's not It's not harder or it's not any different. It's just kind of what you're selling is different. And how you are selling it, your marketing is different.
Alrighty. Do you drink alcohol?
When I work or when I'm in field, no. But I mean, yes, I do. Like, I had like a glass of wine yesterday, like, for a dinner. So glass of wine, yes, but I don't need, most people, they drink alcohol to get energy or to calm their critical mind. Energy I do lots of stuff for the energy, starting from cold shower, saunas, workout, gym, healthy food. So energy I have plenty, and for critical mind I need it because my game is based on that mind being operating, because I'm fully aware of what is happening. And when I notice, when I drink, I lose, with each drink I'm losing 300 milliseconds of reaction time, and I cannot lose that amount of time
Gotta stay sharp.
because it happened to me. I was in a club. I had my finger under the girl's skirt. I was fingering a girl on a dance floor, and the boyfriend came in the club. I had my fingers in her pussy. And luckily, I wasn't drinking. I was like, oh, boom, shop around, high five, hug the guy, let me buy you a drink, go to the bar. Hey, man, what's going on? Fucking, clean my finger, and I was
Wait,
like smooth as fuck, like, So if I had one or two drinks, probably I'll be dead, because he came with like a three or four his friends in the club.
let's rewind a little bit. Did you say high five that guy?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. That is.
So do I drink alcohol? No. Why? Because of situations like that.
All right, smart. I haven't had alcohol for nearly 4 years, simply because, yeah, I'm a brain person. I have a very
Yeah.
high IQ, and my personality type is ENTJ, which is a leader. So for me, I really value just knowing what's going on
Yeah.
and being fully in control of
Yeah.
myself
I'm the
at
same.
every moment.
Yeah, that's great. And I build my game on top of it. So I need my brain functioning and being 100% all the time on to
What
analyze and
are
process everything what's happening there.
Hmm. So that was a crazy story in itself, but what are some other crazy stories you could share with us?
Oh, like I had where do I start? Crazy. Like I'm not sure what's. Oh, like let's move on. I can't think of anything right now. Like that's crazy in life. Like I mean, okay, I can give you. Okay, I have a good one. Okay.
I agree.
So my friend bought a nightclub. Okay, like he started running a nightclub, but the problem was kind of people just came there for a drink. There was no sexual energy in a club. Okay, like people, it was like fancy place. Come there for a drink, to be seen, and and see who's there in a scene, but nothing was happening. So like he asked me. He knew basically I was like working a lot on the game and thing, and so basically what we did, I start playing with, because actually I mastered sexual escalation and how you can actually control it. I think being a man, you are responsible for many things, and one of the things is basically sexual energy between basically in a relationship and in a dating. When you meet a girl, your job is basically to, just like you're playing with level of trust, level of connection you have with a girl, you should be playing as well with how much of sexual energy there is between two of you, how turn on sexually she is. Okay. So I think I went crazy for like 2 years on on the whole figuring out how the whole sexual energy works and how can I control it when I approach a girl and what can I do to make her panties wet and to get her thinking about me. So like, that was my thing for like, I think for a year and two, almost 2 years. So the word spread around. So a friend of mine calls me and he's like, Dan, I have problem with sexual energy in my club. I want to kind of boost it up somehow. What do I do? Okay. So what we did, we put, it was funny, like, I put couples, fake couples around the club. Okay, like, and at midnight, they'll start kissing, start kind of grabbing, kind of very, like, kind of aggressively sexually. And what happened? It start affecting the whole nightclub. So people start kind of dancing and kissing. And basically, I realized actually you can create an orgy without any problem. It's just the number of people and what people do in front of other people. Like insane, really, like, like insane things what you can do, like, with people's energy and basically play and control, like combining music and slowly, like how, what people were doing around, discreetly start kissing, slowly start touching, kind of like just, it's like a wave that affects everybody around. Really interesting. I mean, it's not that crazy, but like for me, it was like, wow, like, you can do this, And
That
then,
is
yeah,
pretty crazy.
yeah, I did the whole spiel on basically on dirty talk. And that was kind of my thing. Like after that's what most people, they don't know. They think direct game is only like, okay, the opener. You see the girl, you open as a basically direct game has many stages. One of them is basically is making a girl sexually turned on to you. Okay. And most of the methods, most of the games, from what I see, from what I remember, they're based off basically in the game, talking with a girl, basically. Now, not about relationship, but when you are seducing a girl, there are two basic energies you're playing with. And all techniques pretty much fall into these two energies. One is creating a comfort, creating this kind of connection, commonalities, trust, more like, creating a friendship. Okay. We're on the same page. We understand each other. We have lots of things in common, finding commonalities, like, you talk about, so she's like, creating this kind of, wow, I like this guy. Okay. Second energy that kind of you are playing with is the sexual energy. That's kind of attraction. That's kind of really like, what whole escalation is all about. And this, basically what you are doing in a game, pretty much all the techniques, all the PUA techniques fall into these two energy, fall into this, either building one or another one. Pretty much you have basically, it's three things. You are opening a girl, you're building comfort, you're building sexual energy, tension. And that's kind of what really part of the whole direct game, being a man. You want to basically to play with that sexual, and you want to be like, okay, will this girl be turned on or not? It's not, is it written in stars or like, hoping it's gonna happen. It's like, you can do stuff. There's, you can do stuff in the bedroom. You can do stuff like, to turn a girl on. Okay, how? Left ear, dirty talk. Pretty much all the girls are audio types. There's some kinesthetic, of course, like, but like, they're, kind of, they're all, like, the easiest way really it is like, dirty talk. Like, so while you are talking, actually, I'm not sure, do you know, but basically, right, left hemisphere of the brain and how it's distributed in our body. Basically, right hemisphere of the brain controls left part of the body. Left hemisphere of the brain controls, it goes in X. Probably know it from the, from the surgery.
Yeah, exactly. So her tumor was on the left side of the brain, so her right part of the body was affected.
Yeah. So basically, and then like, what each hemisphere is doing is different. Okay, like, so because of my injury, I was like, kind of learning a lot about it. And then I discovered lots of brain hacking stuff. And I discovered basically that everything you whisper in the left ear, it bypasses under the logic and it basically goes into emotional part of the brain. So all dirty talk, all sexual content, when you're in a nightclub, it should go to the left ear. Okay, so you start slow. So what basically so I created. Now we're gonna go really deep. I'm not sure how much time do we have. You have time? This is gonna be very interesting. Okay,
How much
so
time do you have? I got all
I
the
have
time.
my girl is sleeping, so I'm okay here with you.
Let's do
Go
it.
wipe yourself. Okay, so girls girls can multitask. They can think. They are really good at multitasking. Do you know why? You probably know that. Like they can think about multiple things at the same time.
Probably as an evolutionary adaptation of taking care of a job.
Partially, their brain is wired differently. Basically, there is a perpetual that's connecting, like hemispheres of the brain. Okay, we have one, or I think we have two. This kind of like a data points where basically hemispheres are connected. They have like eight. So they have like, kind of way more connection and flow of data between left and right hemisphere, okay? Which is evolutionary next step, which allows them to multitask. I remember one girl that I was dating, she told me, she was Yelena, her name was like, and I remember that like yesterday. She was like, Dan, I can, at the same time, I can have this conversation. I can open another window and I can think at the same time about what I need to buy in a fridge in a supermarket. I can as well, like, kind of start working on my homework. So basically, they can do what any computer can do. You can open a tab and play. You basically open a YouTube. Next tab, you can open a Google Docs. Next tab, you can open some. This is what they can do. What our brain cannot do. We are single task, monotask, and whole world is created from the monotask thing. Okay. So what I did, I'm like, okay, so this is how you think. So I sat down and I designed the game, basically seduction for that. So basically what I do, let's say this is kind of more kind of clubbing game. What I do, like in a club, basically direct game for the club version. How can you turn on any woman within 20 minutes and get her panties wet? This is what I usually quote, but usually what I teach on my one-on-one clients, and it's kind of exclusive, but I'm gonna give it to you here, okay? So what you do is, since they can think about multiple things at the same time. Just this is the starting point, okay? So let's design a game for that. So what you do, every couple of minutes, you open a new topic. Okay, you're talking about the music, but every second topic is sexual. Okay, so you open a tab, you play some Google document. Next tab is a Pornhub. Next tab, you talk about travel. Next tab, Pornhub. So sexual, non-sexual, sexual, non-sexual, sexual. And this is how conversation goes, okay? So how does this looks like? You talk about music, what kind of music she likes, and then after like, let's say 3 minutes, you whisper to her, you know what, we are talking about music, but your legs, they're driving me crazy. Can't stop thinking about them. But anyway, you like to travel, you change topic. And then you're like, let's say on the end of that topic, you open a new one. Basically, what I'm doing is creating images, sounds. Basically, I'm creating images and video clips of two of us having sex without me saying it. So basically, being a gentleman about it. So for example, you know what? When I look at your ass, for the good line, when I look at your legs, my blood is going to all wrong places, baby. You didn't said dick, you didn't said erection, but she had in her mind picture of your dick without you saying it. And slowly, and this is how you're seducing her. Of course, this is just the verbal part. There's a non-verbal as well. But what you're doing after 15 minutes of this, I guarantee you with my life, this girl will start thinking about having sex with you. And her panties will be wet if you do it correctly. And there's no way out.
Damn, guys in the comments are going to go crazy. Come back to this video and let us know how it goes, guys.
Oh, yeah, this went crazy. Yeah, so let's move on. Any more questions you have?
Yeah. What do you enjoy the most about the work you do?
Ooh, like I like seeing these changes. Like the guys like having relationships, they're getting married, they're calling me for their weddings, naming their kids after me. I mean, like it's really insane. Like I was in what was that in London in a night in some club bar. I told to the guy, see that girl over there. There was a blonde, beautiful blonde, like kind of Russian type, like I'm like, that's your girl, go there. And he's like, tap tap. I kind of approach. I flew back to Croatia like 3 months later. Then remember that girl that you told me that's mine? I'm getting married. So yeah, this kind of stuff. Really, like it's amazing. Kind of when you see a guy and the guy's like then I cannot get girls, and then like what 3 months later, he's like like has full apartment of the girls. That's what makes me happy because really like every guy can do it. It really is. It's just this is just IQ game. This is intelligent game is an ultimate IQ test of the life. If you're stupid, you're gonna use money, looks, and status to get girls and six pack.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Are there any particular success stories that kind of bring a tear to the eye, maybe, or something I love the marriage thing and people having children, of course, and stuff like that. Is there your transformation itself is very impressive, very remarkable. Is there perhaps a student of yours that has some kind of remarkable experience of some kind as well?
Oh yeah, I had many. I had like many. I cannot mention names, but like there was like one guy really proud of his progress. He came to me like 10, 15 years ago, like whew, like homeschool. He couldn't go to the school, be with people, like sociopath. Like he had like a teacher was coming at home, like basically for his like 15, 20 years, he never spoke with a woman. Besides a mother and I think sister, like so no social context training with people, like Xanax, high, anxieties, like social anxieties. Like I mean that guy today has a girlfriend, we are still working, like it's like living with a girl, amazing life, and really like kind of like proud of really like proud of this kind of moments, this kind of guys that I mean really when you see it, like if you really fight, if you really want it and you're ready to fight for it, you're ready to learn, you're ready to kind of conquer your fears, your molecules in your head telling you cannot do it, like it's possible. That really kind of makes me kind of wow, like many stories like that, like the guys, like I remember on summer camps, I used to do like kind of summer camps back in the days, like military style boot camps, like that was crazy, like that was crazy, like like basically we went to the Croatian. I used to there was like I think like first 10 years of my coaching, I used to travel like a New York, Miami, London, LA, Moscow, Sydney. I was like a 3 days here, 3 days there, like just running around the world. But the problem with this boot camp is that kind of you have 3 days. I mean, like you want to change someone's 40 years of existence and bad habits in 3 days. It's very it's possible, but it's it's like on 10 guys, maybe like 6 guys they get it. For 4 more guys, you still need a couple more days to work on them, like so I was like, what, fuck this 3 day boot camp model. Let me get a house, let me work, live with them for like a 2 weeks holiday and work on them. So basically I assembled a team, like my PT guy, that like I did like probably like a 10 years of summer camps, like hardcore. I'm gonna send you like a video later, like how it looked like. That's kind of that was, I'm really proud of that, like model. Basically, I took two houses, one house for my team on one kind of party island, like Ibiza style in Croatia, Zrče Island, like kind of one house my team, other house guys, and basically like work on them. Basically, we'll wake them up 7 a.m. bootcamp style, like a military style, running around the house, push-ups, breakfast, then seminar. Basically, it was a program that was running 24 hours around the clock. They could only sleep at 3 hours per day. Like it was like so seminar till 3 p.m., then like a beach game from 3 p.m. to like a 7 p.m., then like a 3 hours for the dates, then at 11 club game till 5 a.m. in the morning with I had like a three sets of instructors, coaches running around the clock nonstop. Like so basically the program was always running. Like when one set of coaches were sleeping, other one was working, so it was insane. Like and so yeah, like crazy stories happened there, like really like crazy, like I mean a guy who was like kind of introverted, like like he couldn't talk with people. 3 days later, approaching a girl, you come here, show me the place where you want to be fucked. She's like, let's go there. I asked the guy, can you, if I told you that you're gonna be able to say this, not pull it off, not get laid, just to say it. He was like, no, I wouldn't believe it if you told me like that, kind of that this is possible. So yeah,
Uh,
like insane stories, like
are
and
are you still doing those summer boot camp
no, I
house
stopped
kind of
doing it.
things?
It was really like I don't have energy for it. Like it was like big project, like but maybe I'm gonna do it in the future. But today I focus mostly on one-on-one coaching because I don't. I mean, I understand of this kind of big group, kind of coaching. It's good because it pushes you. But if you really want to change someone, you need to work with him one-on-one. Every guy has different problems, different needs and insecurities, and he's doing different stuff. So what I usually do nowadays is like I put a mic on the guy, kind of wire him up. I'm behind listening, recording everything, every approach. We go back to apartment, listen everything. Okay, this needs to be changed. This needs to be changed. You cannot say this. Here you miss to create attraction. You see like it. So really work with him like one-on-one, change his dressing style, fully dedication, like kind of really like professional one-on-one thing, like and I'm getting better results. Guys are happier, and I really think that's the way to do it. If you really want like to change someone, this is the way to do it. You are
Oh yeah,
behind
for
him,
sure.
listening his every word, every approach, every sentence he says, and kind of fine tune and work on it, like
Because I guess another thing is like when it is a group and someone has this kind of trauma that they need to deal with, they don't necessarily want to tell you in front of everyone else.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's one of the things
Yeah, I
there.
had I had like one guy in New York, like like his parents were in a prison, both serial killers, like and I mean like imagine what this guy he was telling like yeah, like he had approach anxiety. He was like yeah, like my father who used to kidnap people from a street, bring them home, and then like tear them apart in a living room, and I was watching this, like that's his childhood, like and he's
Ooh,
like yeah, I have like a little bit of approach anxiety. I'm like Jesus Christ,
damn,
yeah.
that's fucking scary.
So
Well, that's
help,
dark.
like not a dating coach, and yeah, that's hard. Yeah.
So, it said in the game that people get to punch you in the stomach and yell at you saying, fuck you, bad boy. What was the deal with that? Was that like a random tradition or something?
Um, that was lots of guys had. I think it was one of my ways. I was trying to figure out how to. I mean, that's kind of me working with the shy guys, and I had guys that cannot say f word. No, I cannot say f word. I'm like, not say it. Fuck. Say fuck you. I cannot say it. Say fuck you, bad boy. No, I cannot say. Say fuck you, then. I was like, yell louder, louder. So that's. I think it started from there, like, but I did lots of stuff like this. I mean, if you cannot say F word, like, how are you gonna, you know, do anything with the girls, like, because if a girls can feel your level of basically sexual comfort, and how, kind of, if she feels you're uncomfortable with your sexuality, she's not going to open up with hers. It's going to be very hard for her.
And it's
And
just
they
the
are,
fact that you're not saying a word. Come on, it's a word.
yeah,
You're having this block in your mind just for this tiny thing, and it's
yeah.
going to block a lot of other stuff potentially.
Yeah, and basically, and I found, and that was kind of thing I found, because everything is inner game. I know from my thing, like it's all inner game. It's all limiting beliefs. It's like I was on a search, on a conquest to find as many ways how can I destroy those blockages and those walls. So I think this from the book is just one example of many, many tries and fails. How to, now 20 years later, I found much more elegant ways how to destroy, anxieties and fears, and, and those stupid, kind of mind games that people play than this. But but yeah, it was just kind of my first days of learning.
Experimentation,
Yeah.
dance experiments. Why exactly do you no longer do boot camps though?
I think, what I told you, I found much more elegant. I still coach. I coach pretty much every weekend, almost every weekend, guys. But it's mostly one-on-one coaching. I fly to the client, or client flies to me, or we meet somewhere in the world, and so I still do. I just don't do group boot camps because I really want to focus on the person. I want to know, because every guy has a different needs. Every guy has different girls. He wants a relationship. Other guy wants to be a player. This guy wants. When you're doing a boot camp, you're just giving them stuff and hope something hits. It's like a
Oh,
mass
yeah.
download. There is no fine tuning. Say this line. Say this. So, when you're coaching, when you really, I mean, not many coaches, they want to do this. Of course, boot camp is easiest way to make money. You put 10 guys in a room, let's go out, and this is what we do. It's kind of, everybody does this move, everybody does this line. For some guys it works, for some guys it don't. Sorry, go to next boot camp. So I'm tired of that. I really want to create, and I want to stand behind what I teach. So I do fully custom, tailor-made program for the guy. For the person. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Do you think getting girls today is easier or harder than it was 20 years ago?
I would say today it was never as easy as today. It's much easier. I'll tell you why. Okay, as I told you, kind of, I remember my first phone numbers. I used to get, that was pre-cell phone days. Okay, you get a number like her home number, fixed
Oh yeah,
line.
yeah.
Remember those?
You know what? I was because I'm writing. The reason I got the whiteboard behind me is I'm writing the second edition for the book, The Message Game, and the chapter I have been working on today to see if I can add some more is specifically back in 1986,
Can
and
I can I please write you an intro? Let me write you an intro for the book. I have a stories. I have a stories how it
oh,
was. Like, so okay, imagine this. You get a girl's number. Okay, you either you stop a girl at a club or something,
and
she
you
gives
have
you
to
her.
call her and
Yes.
she has to be where that particular phone is, whereas today it's in her pocket, so you call her home phone,
So
she has to be at home.
every time you call, you want to call, you had to be ready to speak with the whole family.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
So you call her, like, hey, it's Dan here. Like, it's like, Martina at home. Oh no, she's in a school. She's coming back in 1 hour. I'm like, okay. Like, by the way, who is calling her? I'm like, a Dan, a friend from blah blah. Okay. So of course, 1 hour later, I'm calling. It's Dad. Hello, hi, my name is Dan, and I can speak with Martina. Who's calling her? And he's pissed off, of course, So, hi, it's Dan from the school, from our, she's still not back. She went for drinks with her friends. Okay, when do you expect her? Maybe she's come back. Call her in 2 hours. I'm like, okay, so I call her in 2 hours. Sister, grandma, whatever, cousin, again, mother. By the time she came home, whole family is like, who the fuck is this Daniel guy calling her all day long? It was a nightmare. So you had your ways how to speak with the mother, how to talk with the father, how to talk with the sister, with the brother, with her. And then, when you got on the phone, you're like, fuck, thank you, God. So when the cell phones came, it was like, Jesus Christ, you can talk to her directly. I mean, that was like ultimate fantasy back then.
No, I'm not sure if you can see this. Yeah, you can actually see it on screen. So I wrote this down today. I got the timeline is basically payphones, it's localized, cell phones, it's personalized, and smartphones, it's globalized.
Yeah.
So what a coincidence. I was writing some extra stuff about that today, and now
Yeah,
we're talking
yeah,
about.
no, that was like, I'm telling you, it was like, and then, so basically, then you need to talk with her, for a couple of times, of course, like before you invited her for coffee or something, it was a nightmare. Every time I had anxiety of calling her. You had fucking, you had anxiety of not to send that, to kind of to call her number because you don't know what's gonna happen. Who is gonna pick up the phone? Is the mother gonna be angry? Is she at home? And then of course like the hotter she is, she was never at home. She's always like with the friends, with this guy, or she went out with the Mark. Who the fuck now is the Mark? Then this guy, then next guy, then she's on a date, and then she went on a dinner, then she's on a ballet, then she's in a gym, she's in a university. It was impossible. So today, you guys, you don't appreciate, you have no idea how lucky we are. You can actually send a message directly to her. Yes, it has a whole different level of the problem, it's the whole texting thing, but it's like you don't want to go back where it started, how it was. It was a nightmare.
Oh, damn, that's such a coincidence. I can't get over that. How I was just working on that today. But yeah, that's something new I have learned because I was born after 1986.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the date I used as an example in the first edition. But I guess this leads into a similar kind of thing. You have declared that Instagram is the best thing that has ever happened to men in dating. I can see how people may disagree with this one without further context. So, what are your reasons for
I would
this?
say, okay, yeah, it's that, it definitely is a game changer. It fucked lots of things up. Okay, it got worse, in last 1 year with whole reels thing and everything. So but it's still good. Okay, I would say Instagram, I can totally see it nowadays how it helps guys. Actually, good Instagram profile will reduce amount of texting you need with a girl to get on a date. Okay, and again, it's basically information. What information you provide, okay, to the girl. So basically, Instagram. The way I see Instagram, okay, now forget the social network, okay, and forget talking with girls on Instagram, okay, So what happens? You meet a girl on a day game or club game. You can either ask for her number or Instagram, okay. So it's a WhatsApp or Instagram. But basically, Instagram is a WhatsApp with a photo album attached to it, which you can use. Okay. And girls nowadays, they love to learn about you. Okay. And so many girls told me when I was doing an interview on that, she's like, yes, I use Instagram. I want to find out who is the guy. So Instagram for them is the last step in a decision-making process. Do I want to sleep with this guy or not? Are we compatible or not? Do I like this guy or not? Do I want to join his lifestyle or not? Okay. So it is really, if you are smart, if you use your brain, Instagram can be a killer for you. Okay. It can work for you big time. Because, I mean, we didn't spoke about it, but actually, like, I told you basically that attraction based on your personality. Okay. If you play your game right, and basically you are, let's say you talk with a girl on a street, you stop a girl on a street and, beautiful girl, and you talk with her, and within that 5-10 minutes conversation, she learns certain things about you, that you are basically confident, that you can, I don't know, outgoing, extrovert, you dress well, whatever. Like, she learns a couple of things about you, but not enough, not the full spiel, full list to have attraction triggered. For attraction, you need more. Okay, there is exactly list what you need to trigger to have attraction, to get a girl to like you. That's why I'm telling you, it's kind of, introverts are good with it, because if you know exactly the list and you go bam, 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 attraction is there. It's not a fucking hard thing at all. Like, girl likes you. Just give her what she needs to know about you. But let's say you on a street and you didn't have your best moment, you didn't have enough time, so you didn't flip the whole attraction list and triggers, you didn't create attraction. You basically you add that girl to the Instagram, and Instagram, your profile, does the rest. And it was never possible till today. Look what is possible. Before, basically, let's say old school, you talk with a girl. The moment you stop talking with a girl, she stops learning about you. Correct? The moment that conversation ends, you get phone number, she stops learning about you. Now, if you want anything, you need to text. While on Instagram, good profile design, you add her to the Instagram, she's still learning about you. And now she's feeling missing pieces. Oh my God, he likes dogs. Oh, look, he traveled to the Paris. Oh my God, he eats in a nice restaurant. Oh, look, he goes to, he plays football. Oh, she is learning. And if she's learning the right things, if you give her the right things, you are controlling what she thinks about you. And therefore, you're controlling the level of attraction for you. So now let's talk some advanced stuff. Instagram has nothing to do with you. Your Instagram has nothing to do with you. Now that's what I'm doing when I'm designing a profile. Actually, it's a little bit. Your Instagram profile is basically projecting her ideal life. You living her ideal life. Does it make sense to you? So, for example, let's say you want to date. That's kind of what I'm doing when I'm designing Instagram profiles for the guys. I take the guy's personality, who is he, and then I take, okay, give me the girl that you want to date, that you want to have. And we design the profile to attract that girl or that type of girls. You want 9s and 10s? I will design your profile for 9s and 10s. That they're going to be, wow, I like this guy. I want to fuck this guy. I want to date this guy. That's why the whole, can I just get like one photo for Instagram? Nothing is going to happen. Your Instagram needs to be smart, just as your game. It needs to fill the holes between your game. So basically, when your conversation finishes, you finish talking with a girl in the bar, club, on street, you add it on Instagram, the Instagram continues talking with her even when you sleep.
Plus, you got Instagram stories, so it's a broadcast for 24 hours to whoever wants to see it. And then you literally get a list of those who are watching.
Yeah. So that's why I'm telling you, Instagram is the best thing that happened for the players in last 20 years. The best and the worst thing. But if you know how to use it, it can really work for you amazingly well, and you can create amazing automatizations. Really, you can do amazing stuff. Actually, I'm doing lots of these kind of custom one-on-one tailor-made projects, and I did for one guy a profile that's basically automatic. Okay, like fully automatization. And that's kind of what we need to talk about as well. Maybe there's a potential business opportunity. So basically what we are doing, we were running ads on his profile, paying like, let's say $10, $5 to $10 per day on targeted girls. Exactly. We knew exactly, okay, the girls who go to the gym, beautiful, they hang out here, create a profile, and then basically the lead will come, and then I create a small bot which was talking with them in the inbox, qualifying them, and basically just kind of basic questions. Hey, how's it going? Then she'll reply this, and start getting the conversation going, qualify, make a lead warm, make a conversation warm, and then he will take over. But pretty much you can create passive funnel that you kind of pay with some, and that really amazing stuff you can do it. So really Instagram is like, I don't like, that's kind of what actually we started with that, 4 or 5 years ago, approaching girls on Instagram. Yes, it's possible. I don't think it's my favorite way. My favorite way is approach a girl offline, add her on Instagram. Instagram helps you to build and create attraction and maintain attraction and prepare her, keep the lead warm for the date. And I really noticed significant change in amount of texting between good profile and bad profile.
In my book, for example, I talked about the difference between getting the phone number and getting her on Instagram or Facebook, for example. And if you, by getting her on your phone number contacts, only you see it. It's +1 in your phone contacts, and you're the only person that sees this. But by adding her on Instagram, or it could be Facebook too, you're getting another follower slash friend, and your network is getting larger, and other people can see this following build up, whereas nobody sees your contacts on your phone apart from yourself. So that's one of many aspects.
And I mean, WhatsApp is one-to-one conversation, and this is one-to-many, which is basically database stuff, which means you post a story. Now all the girls, they knew you've been in Paris, and you've been so basically she's learning about you even when you're not there. And that's kind of what's possible today. You can meet a girl today and end up with her 6 months later.
Or even years later.
Or even year later, exactly,
Yeah, for real. Or the purpose could change. So for example, there's some women that I connected with almost 10 years ago, maybe. And I met up with one a few weeks ago, and she has a daughter now who's the same age as my daughter. And in fact, there are 4 days between. And yeah, we're just friends. My wife met her and everything. So although we originally connected many years before, down the line we were still connected, and when we were in the same city, eventually, we had a family day out, basically.
Yeah. I had the story with 9. I used to add 9s and 10s. She's like, I have a boyfriend. Let's add. Let's keep talking. And guess what? 2 years later, she's single.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing tool. Really, it's amazing tool that if you know how to use it, it can be it can do wonders for you if you build it in a smart way. And that's kind of what so I think that kind of answers my thing with the bootcamps. I prefer you creating the new concepts, new tailor-made solutions for the guys, passive, active. The guys come to me then I wanna like I create a model. I flew to Colombia to create a model agency for the guy. He was like, then I want like, date like, Colombian women, but I don't want, kind of the whole hassle of day game, club game anymore. I want them to come to me. I'm like, no problem, let's do it. And we found a way, like, how, kind of create a company, website, and basically now he's like, girls coming to him passively. So creating, people think like, okay, you need like, it's not, getting girls is not only like, I would say like, getting girls is not only like day game, club game, and Instagram. There's a many ways how you can get girls to come into your life.
100%. Absolutely. If
And
uh if
especially, yeah.
if there was one thing you owe your success to, what would that be?
Brain.
Are you able to expand on that? Are you referring to the miraculous recovery that you gave yourself,
Okay, I
or
would say, okay, let me rephrase it. Um, After every night I came back home, like after approaching, like when I was still like, kind of developing myself, learning myself, like, I kind of rewind all the conversations in my head, all situations, and I was like, let's assume this will happen again. What will I do differently? How would I, kind of do this? In a different scenario. Now, kind of it's much easier to be like, kind of captain after the war, after the fight. So okay, let's assume this will happen again, like, sometimes in the future. And it did. What will I change? What will I do different? Like, So, and that kind of, I would say I'm really good at fast pattern recognition. Like, something, I think for most guys, something needs to happen like 3 to 5 times to see the pattern. For me, kind of happens once. I'm like, okay, I guess this is going to happen again. Let me develop a solution for this before it doesn't need to happen 10 times for me to say, okay, like, there's a pattern. Because the whole game, the whole life is just kind of pattern recognition. They're non-stop happening. Some patterns, some things are happening. And especially game. There's a limited number of mistakes that you can do in a day game, for example. There's around 300 mistakes you can do. You do them all, that's it. You're getting girls. Someone needs to take them to mistakes, show them, and, patch the holes on those, and that's it. You're good. But it's a limited number of things that can happen. Only thing you need to push yourself to make those mistakes, or someone to explain you.
nice? Top coaches according to coaches. So I like to ask this question these days.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some coaches in your industry that you highly respect and know for certain are genuinely good coaches in your field and that you recommend?
I really like Zan Perrion. I would say like he was really, really like, a good friend, and I think really connected very well. But like, something happened with alcohol. He started drinking, as I heard. I'm not sure, but like, something went wrong, like, in his life. So a couple of we lost touch. But I really love this guy. I really love this. I'm not sure what's happening now, where he is in the world. I would love to see him. Like, we completely lost, like, kind of touch base. We used to see each other a lot, but like, I don't know what happened. Like, you spoke with him recently, maybe? You in touch?
No, I had a meeting with someone today and that person knows him, but I never really heard of that name before today, I guess. So you're not the first person to mention this guy to me, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time I heard of the guy today. So another little coincidence, I guess, but there we go.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't know
very
what
like,
he looks
very
like.
like, kind of in love with women, like very like a Don Juanish, like, kind of really like, you are amazing, kind of, I would say like, more validation, if you put it on the pyramid there, like, it's more kind of validation type of a game, lots of compliments, you are amazing, and like, kind of really like, but he really truly believes that she's amazing and she's beautiful, and the whole everything is about her is, everything about her is, you know, wonders of the god, like, and he really is managed to it's not even game, it's his personality, that's who he is, like, and really, kind of, I mean, I love hanging out with him, like, it's kind of like, very inspiring moments, and, kind of, wow, amazing learnings.
You do photography these days in Croatia, Hrvatska, if I
Yeah.
am pronouncing that correctly, and Brazil. When are you in each place so people can find you for photo shoot sessions?
Yeah. So basically, like, yeah, but I started, like, when Instagram became, like, popular, basically, because, I mean, you can't today, if you don't have Instagram account, you're hiding something. She thinks you're weirdo. So you need to be online somewhere, and because if you don't have it, she's gonna start digging, start to Google you. So you need to give her some information, because girls today, you need to present them. They're used to shopping online. That she wants to know who are you in online space. I mean, it's like, job interviews today. They Google you, like, they do full research on you online. So of course, girls are gonna do it as well, like, So yeah, I started doing photography hardcore for the guys during the lockdown. It started, like, for Tinder, and basically, like, really professional stuff, like photography, like, projecting you the way how you want to be present online for your target audience, for the girls that you want. Okay. And I do it mostly in Croatia during I spend winters in Brazil, the sunny side, in Rio. So I'm usually, like, January, February, March in Brazil. Rest of the years I'm in Croatia, because I really hate the depression in the Europe without sun during the winters. So yeah, I escape to Brazil, but pretty much I'm either flying to the client, or client flies to me, or we meet somewhere. So I'm very flexible for the photo shoots and for the coachings. Like, usually we find somewhere and we work on all areas of the game.
Nice. Beautiful. And for those interested in taking up this photography, we actually have a link. So Dan, you're one of our game photographers. So there is a link you can dive into. Should you be in Brazil or Croatia, I think it's simple if we just put the Croatia photography group in
Yeah.
the description and the comments, the pinned comment, and you can jump into that group and find out some more information about that. I'm looking at the profile now. That is beautiful stuff right there. I'm just going to screen share this.
Yeah, these are all. That's my girl. Let me send you some of. Let me send you some of the profiles I did for the guys, so you can show it
That's
here.
beautiful. Let's go. Damn, that table looks very appealing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is. I'm gonna send you so you can show it.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, yeah. That's my valet photo. Like, that's a $1 million shot. Like, I mean, Uber Black in front of nice hotel. Like, we just told the guy, okay, like, give him like a $10 to hold the door. Like,
Damn. Wait,
yeah.
where was that?
This was in Rio, Brazil. These are old photos. You can definitely see the difference. Yeah, let me show you some other ones.
Oh, no. Just to note here, laptop photos are very powerful
Oh yeah,
for
like, I
Tinder.
mean, You want to show, yeah, you want to show you're a working professional, kind of, you do stuff. Can you open this profile? Send you one more. Idea about like, basically every photo needs to, this is like, friends photo. Each photo, you see like, kind of the color wise, everything's like, kind of sync together, kind of, you're really projecting personality through this. A girl can learn about you, kind of, you're working out, you do stuff, partying, whatever, like, so that's type of profiles I'm designing. Like, we're kind of, it seems like, wow, kind of like,
Oh, there's everyone. Yeah.
yeah. I'm good with laptop photos.
Oh, there we go. Look at this. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm,
Here we go.
yeah. So yeah, that's the work. If you guys need profile like this or some photo shoots for your Instagram, you want get your online, because I mean, really, it's important how do you present yourself online, because game is not only like what girl, old school game is only what girl learns about you when you're talking with her on the street. Today she's concerned as well about your online image and who are you in online space. So basically I'm helping guys, helping them to take care, basically take care of their digital image, who they are in the online space, the whole image. And I would say Facebook is dead. Facebook is game over. So basically now it's only Instagram, because I'm not seeing more and more girls they are actually commenting like, Facebook. No, my parents use Facebook. I don't want to go there. Like,
Your parents.
yeah,
Well, I'm still using Facebook, so I just exceeded 3,000 followers, which is kind of a big deal. 3,000 is not really much on Instagram necessarily, especially when you look at numbers of female models.
yeah.
But some of the most attractive women on that I do have on Facebook, they tend to only have 2,000 followers, or sometimes a ridiculous amount. But I more look at what guys like Ross Jeffries have, and other coaches, and my follower count on Facebook is much higher than a lot of people. Not as much as Ross, but I'm catching up.
Mm,
But yeah, otherwise Facebook is pretty fucking useless.
yeah. I mean, till the next network comes, like, who knows what's gonna be like. It's so far I would say Instagram is killing it, and TikTok is starting, but like it's not social network yet, because you cannot DM, you cannot do stuff. But like I guess they're gonna open up as well. Snapchat is good. I never played with Snapchat, but I'm seeing like some really good stuff they have.
For real, I thought that was dying out years ago. I used to use that, but the thing that maybe it has changed since then, but the problem I found with Snapchat is that it's too focused on the temporary, whereas with Instagram, at least you actually have a profile that can be looked at.
Mm,
But
yeah.
actually, oh, I got this over here. What a coincidence that it's on the floor. I got these 6 years ago at least. These are the original Snapchat spectacles. They were just on the floor over there because they don't work anymore. I don't use Snapchat anymore. I gave that up years ago. So I gave it to my daughter basically. She plays with it. But that was pretty cool because there's a button here and you can press this and it would take a 10-second video, or if you
Uh-huh.
press it 2 or 3 times. It takes 20 or 30 seconds, split into 10 seconds each. And it would just record a video from your face. So that was pretty crazy going to nightclubs with that. Um, you just got to make sure because they were expensive too, well over $100. Uh, I just wish Instagram had something like that. But that was like one of the only cool things about Snapchat, for in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I never play with it. Like, I mean, I want to stay offline as much as possible, but like, yeah, it is like fucking, we all need to live online and, work business wise, but like, too many accounts, too many networks, too much time being spent in front of the phone.
Yeah, can be a distraction, but we have gone through all the questions, so that's
Wow.
amazing. Um, your story is, I hope that's very inspirational to a lot of people out there
Yeah, I really
because
hope.
having a wife with brain cancer, I can at least see with my own eyes on a day basis a similar kind of story. So that kind of hits home for me personally. But for other guys, I guess it's just a matter of we all have our own problems, of course, but there are some people who really need to calm the fuck down and realize that everything's okay and that their problems are really blown out of proportion, and that you can do something about that. So
You know what's like,
I
I
have
mean,
learned quite a
sorry to interrupt you. There's so many lessons. You're bringing it back. Like, it's, it really is, your brain can work against you or can work for you. And really is for that, like, kind of, it's, especially in the game, especially, whole personality thing, like, that can, small things. I noticed, like, when I was like fighting with the way I walk limp, it's visible what she's gonna think about. If I was concerned what she, like, I'll meet a girl and we're kind of walking together, and there's a moment when she's gonna notice. And if I was like concerned, oh my God, what she's gonna think, or what she's gonna think, it's gonna be. If I was in the mode of what she's gonna think about it, if I was concerned about it, she was concerned about it. If I was okay with it, she was okay with it. If I was like, oh, it doesn't matter, like what the fuck, like, she was okay with it. She was like, okay, it doesn't matter. So she is a mirror image of you. There's no her. It's you. It's you on the other day. So if you think you are loser, if you think, she will think as well about that. Like, if you think you're the greatest guy ever, she's gonna think about that as well. So it really is you on the end of a day. So your biggest fight, the first fight you have to win over, is the fight over yourself. I mean, and that was kind of what approaching really is, what teaches you, like, kind of first battle, first war you need to win is the one against yourself. Fighting your bullshit, your insecurities, your problems. This is the first war you need to win. And then you start walking towards her, and then you come to her, and then you know what happens? Now she's fighting with her insecurities, with her bullshit, with her problems. Now you need to help her with that. So first you solve your problems, then you come there, then you start helping her with her problems. Oh, I don't want to be a slut. I don't want this, or I don't want to give a phone number. I'm not sure, do I like you, or this, or how I'm going to be perceived, what people think about me, or this, or I cannot keep, So first, you deal with your problems, your insecurities, your inner game. You help yourself, then you come to her, then you help her with hers.
Yeah, just like with planes, when there are the emergencies happening, the oxygen mask comes down and they say, put your mask on before you
Exactly.
help someone else. You
Exactly.
have to help yourself first.
Exactly.
Otherwise, how the fuck are you going to help other people if you're not even helping yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, really, like I met like one more time, game changed my life. I'm so grateful for it, for the whole community and the whole journey I went through it. And I'm still giving back. I'm trying to help and coach as many guys as possible. Guys come to me and help them, like, so it really is life-changing experience. But it started with me handling my own shit. I had the biggest fucking war I had to win, and it was like how many nights I came home crying and ready to give up. And I'm like, I will die trying. I will die for this. I was like, I will die if I have to, but I'm gonna have a beautiful girlfriend. But I was ready to die for it.
So that's effectively like what's the alternative for you? Because you can either do something about it or do nothing about it. And there's a version of you where if you didn't do anything about it, your life would be completely
There
different.
was a version, kind of how disabled people end up in a wheelchairs. They find them some job somewhere in some company, kind of they live on support on basically on the government. That was the version, giving up and going against the stream. And I was like, I'm not gonna accept that life.
Mhm.
That was written for me. So I rewrote my destiny. I was like, no, I'm not gonna accept that. Thank you for offering life. I'm not gonna accept it. I choose hard way. I'll fight for
Yeah,
it.
it's for real. For real. That's some real shit.
So 6 years later, I was dating Miss Croatia, the most beautiful girl in Croatia. I
There
was
we go.
21. Yeah.
Damn. Perspective. Yeah, what a fascinating, unique, warrior, strong perspective that a lot of guys can learn from. So I have learned quite a few things and I have really valued this conversation. So thanks for
Yes, bro.
being part
Thanks.
of this.
Pleasure. Pleasure for inviting me. Let's stay in touch, my friend. Have a great night. And I really hope your wife gets better. And I know what you're going through with her. So I'm going to write a couple of ideas, maybe some supplements. Maybe I have something like it. But yeah, let's stay in touch.
Perfect. That's a plan.
Okay, man.
Nailed it.
Pleasure talking with you. Have a great night. Good night.
Thanks.